Alright guys, before we get to the video, real quick, some of you might have noticed over the past few months we've been wearing these really cool shirts. Well, now's your chance. Buy your very own from our merch store at squonkworks.com. Folks, these projects don't come cheap, so if you want to help us do things like finish the Porsche, put a new transmission in hot garbage for the third time, or finally engine swap the Cappuccino, and whatever else we might have planned.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Then head over to squonkworks.com to get your very own official gear. These first batch edition shirts will be up for only a limited amount of time, so get yours while you can. So that way if we ever run into you, we will know who backed us from the start. Thank you very much for your support. Now, on to the video.
Goal for the day, although I end up actually going further. These bars right here, obviously they need to get chopped and notched and then tacked in place. Next thing is going to be the lower bar, sort of the main lower bar, because after those are both tacked to this and the car, then I should be able to remove the engine and really from there just kind of fill out the rest of the cage. Eyes. Welders watching can tell, been a minute since I've done some TIG, but yeah, so you can see there, kind of a problem we're running into is I guess we didn't have the notcher squared just right, so it made the notch like a little bit at an angle, so that's why we had a big gap over here but none on the other side. So oh well, I will just have to weld fill that in. No big deal, it's not a crazy gap, but yeah, I'm gonna go get the other side tacked up and then we'll get working on these two bottom bars, because once the two bottom bars are in, at that point it should be able to support its own weight. Alrighty folks, sorry we had the camera off for a while. As you can see, it is getting dark outside and we've been busy. Didn't record because it's not really showing you anything new. Same thing as the main hoop, just for other ones, but this is where we're at now. So we got the big main hoop tacked in and we got the main supports on the bottom tacked in. So it is now supporting. It's still a little wobbly because only tack welds. And of course there's going to be adding another frame rail that goes right here. Going to be triangulating between them. More supports for these main hoops. This is the bare basic start. But I mean, there it is. That kind of shows you the shape that this thing's going to be. Big thing that was important for these was for them to be pretty level going all the way forward, and we just ran a test with a bar across here and a digital level on it, and between here and all the way at the end it leans 1 degree. So considering what we're working with, I think getting it within 1 degree is good enough. I'm sure there's professionals out there that'll tell me I'm wrong, but I feel good enough about it. I love the way this is looking, so yeah, onward tomorrow. What I would like to do is to continue building out the rear frame here. This needs its second frame. You call it second frame, the top frame rail. I think top frame rail sounds better. So needs the top frame rail to go right about here. And there's going to be triangulation, tying that all together. And there's going to be a little bit more to support this top bar. The thing is, right now, you can see you got the harness bar tacked in right here and the bottom frame tacked in right there. All of this is riding on a couple tack welds down there. So what I'm thinking is I'm actually going to get the door bar done first. At least one of them. I may end up doing both. Get the door off. After the door is off, then start trying to make some sort of template that can sit here, because I would like to go from this kind of out into the door and then connect up here to, you know, help give more structure to the car. Now, I know if we really wanted to make it as rigid as possible, we would go ahead and actually give it not even necessarily a roof, but just a bar that goes from here to here, exit over, all that stuff. But this is the car's look. We don't want a roof, so we will sacrifice that bit of, you know, optimization for the look of it. People say Porsches are hard to work on. Look how quickly that door comes out. Here's my plan. I have this piece left over from when I made the dolly. What I'm thinking is, if I cut this in half, like diagonal, so I basically have two L brackets, what I can then do is, it's a bit long, so I have to trim the height first, and then I can trim the inside of the L bracket to match this shape right here, and hopefully go right on here, and I'll weld it to the pinch weld on this side and then to the skin of the car on this side, and then make a cap for the top and bottom. And hopefully what that ends up resulting in is that I have a nice flat surface here. Make the pipe to come here and connect straight to it. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I think this is everything, if not more, than I need. Okay, so here's what we got now. Got this shape. You see it deviated from the template a bit, but I mean, that's kind of the goal. So I said, mark it a little bit wider than what you want, and then slowly bring it in. Now that this one, it's gonna be a bit hard to see from up there, but sits in here real good. I've got maybe a 1/16 inch gap at most on some parts, so very easy to bridge that. Now all I'm going to do is take this piece, transfer the template over like that, because the other side's going to be identical. Then weld them in and be a day. Oh, the first part of the day. So he's bending the top door bars, and I am now done welding these guys in. So the door bar, I'm gonna go from cage and onto these guys. That's hot. So not the greatest thing to weld. This is carb metal, so it's got, you know, the primer that's still on the inside. It's what, 22 years old at this point. It's also, well, this right here is all decently thick stuff because that's part of the actual crash structure. Once you get down here, you're coming into layers of thinner stuff, and same with the pinch weld over here. It's just layers of thin metal, and they have glue and all kinds of stuff inside them, so not very nice to weld. It's dirty as hell. That's why I ended up switching from TIG over to the MIG to finish it, and it ain't pretty, but I mean, that is solid, as is this side over here. You see, that is in there, welded all the way, so pretty confident that we'll gain a good bit of strength out of those. Is that on the other side of the fabrication table? First set of door bars in. We mainly wanted the top door bars in place at least so that we can work on adding things here. It can actually support some weight, you know, because the whole thing is only staying tacked in because we're then going to remove the entire roll cage to paint it. This is fitting our door beautifully. One thing we wanted to make sure was that the door bars didn't actually intrude into the passenger space at all. So you can see they just completely tuck into the door. Alrighty, fast forward, been a little bit of doing a little bit of work. Saw me cutting those bars. I cut an additional set of bars. As you can see now, we actually have the second set of bars. These are this is the top frame rail. So there's going to be triangulation between the top and bottom frame rail, and then also a couple supports going out to this. Our doors now have the bottom door bar in, and as you can see on the other side here, we are still clearing the door very nicely. Car is definitely looking much better. Go ahead and stand on that thing. No, that's fine. I was standing on it. Twice what you did. Yeah. But I mean, you see, even without the triangulation, it's already nice and strong. And you can tell it's not even like any of this that's flexing. It's the whole freaking car just balancing on that dolly. And it did that with my ass in it. So, coming along well. But I think that's where I'm going to call it for the day, because I am exhausted.